As Jesus and his disciples were walking along, they came past a man who had been born blind. And the disciples asked Jesus, "Look at that man. Why is he blind? Was it he that sinned, or was it his parents?" And Jesus said, "He's not blind because anyone sinned. This is so that the works of God might be seen through him." You see, while it is day, we must do the works of the one who sent me. The night is coming when soon no one will be able to work. While I'm in the world, I'm the light of the world. And when he said this, he bent down and spat on the ground, and he made a paste of mud, and he put it on the man's eyes, told him to go and wash. Well, the man went. He washed, and when he returned, he could see. And those who saw him said, "This is the man who was born blind. How is it that he can now see?" And another said, No, this isn't him. It just looks like him." But the man said, "Yes, it's me. It is me." And they said, "Well, how is it that you can now see?" And he said, "Jesus put some mud on my eyes. He told me to go and wash, and now I can see." "Well, where is he?" they said. "I don't know," he said. So the people took the man to see the Pharisees. Now, it was a Sabbath day when Jesus opened the man's eyes. And the Pharisees said to him, "How is it that you can now see?" And the man explained that Jesus made some mud, put it on his eyes, he washed, and now he can see. And some of the Pharisees said, "This man cannot be from God, for he does not keep the Sabbath." While others of them said, "Well, how can a sinner do such amazing signs?" And they were divided amongst themselves. And so they turned to the man and said, "What about you? It was your eyes he opened. What do you say about him?" And the man said, "He is a prophet." Some of the religious people, they didn't believe that the man had been born blind. So they called his parents. And they said to them, "Is this your son? Was he born blind? And how is it that he can now see?" And the parents replied, saying, "Well, yes, he is our son, and indeed he was born blind, but how he can see we do not know. I mean, he is old enough. Why don't you ask him? He can speak for himself." Well, the parents said this because they were frightened of the religious people. You see, they had said that anybody who proclaims that Jesus is the Messiah would be thrown out of the synagogue. And so the parents said, "He is of age, why don't you ask him?" Well, for a second time they brought the man to the Pharisees, and they said to him, "Give praise to God, for we know this man is a sinner." And the man said, "Well, whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. All that I know is that I was blind and now I can see." And the Pharisees said, "How can you see? What did he do to you?" And the man said, "I have already told you. Why will you not listen to me? Why do you want to know again? Do you want to be his disciples too?" And they grew angry, saying, "We are the disciples of Moses. We know Moses comes from God, but for this man we do not know where he comes from." And the man said to them, "Oh, this is amazing. A man comes and opens the eyes of a man born blind, and you do not know where he comes from. We know that God does not listen to sinners, those who worship him, those who do his will. He listens to them. Never in all of recorded time has a man who has been born blind been made to see." "How dare you?" they said to him. "You are an utter sinner. How dare you try and teach us?" And they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown the man out, he went and found him. And he said to the man, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And the man said, "Well, tell me who he is, sir, that I may believe in him." And Jesus said, "You have found him. He is speaking to you now." And the man said, "I believe, Lord." And he worshipped him. And Jesus said, I've come into this world for judgment, so that those who are blind may see, and those who see may become blind. Now some Pharisees who were nearby overheard what he said, and they said, do you mean to say that we are blind? And Jesus said to them, if you were blind, then you would not be guilty. But because you say you can see, then your guilt remains.